Yeah, welcome back to my second class of HPLM 12.5. Okay, probably I can minimize this. Yeah, a hard time of closing this one back. Okay, so here what we are going to do here is we'll start from scratch. Okay, we'll go from scratch. Um, So we'll go through requirements module. So I said like 4 important modules, right? Remember, requirements module, test plan module, test lab module. Of course these are there, but these are not. I'm not saying that these are not important, but these are like you can learn through you know on the way. You can learn through on the way. And most of them you don't even have access. This business components you don't even have the access for that. So you will not have access. So right now I'm administrator, so that's the reason I'm having this access. So 4 important modules: requirements, test plan, test lab, and defects module. 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Okay, good. So here let's create our own. Let's minimize this and go to the requirement, and let's create a requirements section here. We'll go to this. This is a root directory, a root folder, or whatever you want to name, and GMO Online is already created, right? Okay, let's create a GMO Online project. I'm just confused with this thing, but I don't want to delete, right? Let's do one thing. GMO project. I'll put my name here, but it's not necessary because for our classes perspective, we just wanted to put this name. Sorry. So although I can drag and drop here in this project, I don't want to do that. It's not good. But you can do that. I mean, you can drag and drop and put this. So here, this folder directory is pretty much empty here. You see this? Now, what you want to do here is actually create a requirement. So what we did is we just created a directory or just created a folder, nothing else. So by just creating a folder, you didn't do anything. Remember, if you it's like creating a. If I open this my PC and go to this, you create a new folder. That's it. You create a new folder. That's what we have done here. We have now created the requirement. Requirement is completely different. Now we want to create this requirement. So let's not worry about the steps. We'll go to that right now. Okay, we will just work on that one. Alright. Now the most important thing is, unfortunately, you will not be having access. So sorry about that. This is the only drawback. Probably I'll be getting a lot of negative feedback for this because not having the tool access. I give lot of tool access, still I get a negative feedback, but I think this would be worst of my all the classes. So because you don't have access, right? That's the problem. You can only understand 50% of what I'm saying. So okay, so let's create a new requirement. Let's work on requirement. Now, how did I create this one? We go just root directory here and created a new folder just like that. Okay, that's simple. But to create a requirement, you want to click that GMO project because we are working on GMO project. What is GMO project? That's a very good question. demo.borland./GMO Online. Okay, so this is the GMO Online project. Right, this is what we are creating. This is the demo application, so don't worry about it. Now we'll just create a new requirement. Just click on this directory and click on new requirement. That's okay. Now this is not a tester will be doing this, but I'm showing you because you want to know it. Because if you don't know it, you cannot. I mean, you will not do it. Not that you don't know it, but just want to go into details. So it's better to know more than what actually it is, so that you'll understand. So you see the red text here. See this red text? That means a mandatory field. These fields are mandatory. So what is the name? So you want to put as GMO online project. I mean, whatever gym online project. The gym online project is pretty big. We have this all modules and all of things. Now, what type is now? As I told you, like we have a lot of options here. Is it a folder? No, this is not a folder. This is a requirement. Is this a group? No, business. Is it a testing? Is it performance? At this point of time, we are not worrying about that one. The functional default is good. If you change any something, this will get an error. So by default, we just put that thing as. Who is the author? Author is who created this. Normally, business analyst is the author of the requirement. All right, and let's. So these are the fields that you want to fill it up. Not you, business analyst. If you are a tester, you are not going to do. But if you are a business analyst, you do. So creation date January 6, 2020. That's good. Creation time. You can do that. Direct cover access. Oh, here you want to see this. As a business analyst, you want to put as a no run because no testing is started yet. So priority, I'll put as medium. So that we'll go to this priority and severity, which we'll be talking about it. But here in this module, let's not worry about it. Medium, let's put medium. The product, if you have product, you can put this product, and all these are disabled, but you want to put that one. Okay, which release are you going to? This is a very good question actually. Now, if you are working in agile perspective, then it's gonna be pretty much different. But if you're waterfall methodology, actually I use this agile actually. I didn't create release, unfortunately. So we will be using somebody else release. Okay, don't tell anyone. We'll be using this to somebody else release. There is no 2020. You can create a new release actually here at the dashboard, so the management perspective. But you're supposed to know which release is this. So let's go to this new release. There's nothing here. Okay, we have GMO Online Sprint 1. This is one I created long back. And go to here and Sprint 1. So target release is Sprint 1. Okay, description to implement and test all features and functionalities of GMO Online. Oops, sorry. GMO Online project, right? Now, if business analyst is a good guy or good person, or whoever it is, good person, you are lucky. What they'll do is they'll put a screenshot. They'll put this screenshot like this, and I'll be using MS Paint here in this scenario, and I'll be only using whatever I wanted, not everything, right? So I'll be using only this point. And what I'll do is copy and paste. If you're lucky, you have a good business analyst which actually putting your screenshot for your understanding purpose. Okay, so you can actually reduce this screen size actually. So let's do this. So what I'll do is just, so I can select this and oops, yeah, you can, now I got it. Very good. So for some reason it was not coming good, but okay, you can drag and drop like this, and so I'll be putting this. Actually, you can I just copy and paste. You can insert image, you can use this option. It will be much more better and ease. And that's it pretty much. So I'll just put it so that you can see it, developer can see it, a lot of people can see it. See, when you're creating a requirement, of course you're not business analyst will be creating. When you're creating a requirement, a lot of people knows this, a lot more people know it, because project manager knows it, okay, developer knows it, architect people is the one who want to get into more information on this, and your boss knows it, every whole team and everyone knows it. It's like whole world knows it. So you want to be very careful on doing all these things, okay. And once you created this, click on submit. Okay, let's go pretty good. This, I don't know why this is not reason to be here. Okay, so we have created a project called GMO Online, and we can view this right here. Okay, to implement and test all the features and functionalities of GMO Online project. Okay, so this is okay, so this is how you can create a requirement in through this directory. You have to go to this root directory and create. Normally you don't have to create a project. Normally the project is already there. Even if you're a business analyst, you normally don't create a project because this project creation comes with right from management perspective. So somebody else might have created, like for example, business analyst, as I told you, business analyst creates this requirements, right? Probably business analyst manager, his or her boss creates that project because his or her boss is want to start this as soon as possible, and they want to create it. So normally you don't create this directory just like that, but in rare scenarios where there is no directory, then you have to do it. There is no folder, you have to do it. So let's go to this section. If you have any comment section, you can add comments. We will go to that. This has almost in every section, not just in requirement modules. Most of all the modules will have this comment section, so we'll go to that. I can expand this. This for some reason this is probably acting funky. So okay, so yeah, let's go into this modules, various modules. So rich text. If there is any text you want to add it, you can add it in the requirements attachment. So the we didn't attach. Remember, we didn't attach anything, but it already, since we put this image right here, it automatically linked up with attachment. So attachment has been added for you, this PNG image. So probably I can close this. Probably I don't want it, or if I want it, I can take a screenshot again. So not big deal. All right, so attachment is already there, because in detail section what I did is I just copy and paste that attachment here. So it's created for you, the attachment. Okay, or you can also attach your own attachment, but it's not necessary. You can create your own attachment and it will take it, but it's not necessary that it will show up here. This is specifically designed for you to insert image. Remember this insert, you can use that option to insert image. This is what we did. Here you go. See here, that's here actually supposed to do. I have to change, supposed to change here actually. Now it's good. Now it looks good. Oh, oops, sorry. So I'll delete the previous one. This previous one is acting funky. Okay, good. And hold on. Something actually this, okay, so some reason this is actually this got hanged up. Let's wait for a while, and so think probably I want to log out and probably I log in again and see that what happened. Okay, so that is causing pretty much troublesome, so that's the reason I don't use much. This is the old version, and so let's go back to our, let's see what's happening, and put my password. Oops. And let's see what's happened with that. So actually that was a better option to use that instead of copying paste. Looks like it's pretty much screwed up, but yeah, I can, okay. Yeah, I'll do this. Let's do this. Okay, good. Now since we have to implement and test all the features and functionalities of Geomo Online project, I will just use, so it's always better to use this one, insert image. I screwed up, but I some like this font color to be blue. Okay, blue is good. Why is on N always comes in uppercase? Okay. And what I'll do is unnecessary. You won't have to do this. But I mean, this is for, yeah, this looks good. Okay, so if you're lucky, and if your business analyst is good guy or good person who has a screenshot, if you're unlucky, it's not like unlucky, but it's like based on your experience. But just for your understanding, they will not share all the information for you. You have to go and probably you want to check it out online or SharePoint or somewhere and get the information for yourself. There's not always information available. Alright, so you have to check this one. So this is good that we put the screenshot and it's running good and running. It's good. Okay, now let's go to next module. Okay, we talked about rich text, right? Rich text, attachment, linked defects. Let's talk about this linked defects. So what happens is, in this scenario we don't have this linked defects. Let me explain you why is this linked defects so much required here. So what happened is, let's take an example here. Let's say you are testing something, right? You are testing something and you found a defect, and developer finds that defect is so big that it becomes requirement. This happens in Agile, most of the scenarios. This happens in the Agile because what happens is the defect which you have created is not that not be solved, so it becomes a requirement. So they say they split all that work, and no, it's a big deal because we have this Java, the class has to be created, a new object file has to be created, and Java class has to be distributed, then you have to put catch and try. Oh my god, this is a lot of work. We don't want to work on that. So what happens is you created a defect, but this developer identifies a lot of issues there. Java, object, classes, catch and try blocks. Oh, so what happens is developer says that no, we want to create a new requirement based on this defect, because this defect is not simple. This defect creating a lot of problems. We need to create a new class, we need to create a new object, we have to create a try and catch block, and then we have to put a Java new block of code, and a lot of things. So what happens is, in that case, you link what you open the defect, right? You link the defect to this requirement. That means that requirement was created because of that defect. When you created defect, right? It's created. So at this point of time, we don't have this defect. So that's why there is no link defects. That is one scenario of having this link defects. It's not the case. Let's clear the filter actually. Okay, good. So, right. So that's a thing which happens when when you create a defect, and that becomes the whole requirement, because developer sees that, oh my god, we have to do a lot of work on that. You cannot solve just like that in 1 or 2 days. It creates a big issue. Especially in agile, this becomes a lot of big problematic. So okay, so that's the use of this module link defect. Development activities, if developer is a good guy, don't have to be good. Actually, guess what? If they do changes here, it's supposed to apply these changes, or if they, if they really changes, and let's clear the filter. This filter is, always creates a problem. Wait, what? This cannot be cleared. Okay. Okay, never mind. So just refresh it. So what happens is developer might create some files for their use. They never do that. It's not necessary they have to do it. But in some cases, if they have to do, sometimes the management is very strict and they have to do it, they do this one. Otherwise, this is kind of noting down. It's for use for themselves. Like, okay, we have for this time we did this. This developer added more files, added more code to it, and what they added, they will show up here, right here. What they added and all those things. So this is a development work. Here you go. There is another module called requirement traceability. So this is not RTM. This is not RTM actually. This is requirement traceability. So you want to add. Let's click on that one. Let's see what happens. So here we browse right into the requirement, and we have created this project. Let's see here if something happens. Very good. You cannot trace the requirement to itself. That's a very good thing. But probably you can trace the requirement from other projects. Yeah, here you go. So this requirement traceability is like kind of, you have this project, related project. You know what I mean? Related project which is related to GMO Online, and you want to add that into this is called requirement traceability. So this is completely different. Okay. If I click this, this will go right into this. Here, this is the only thing. So we have two things, right? So that's the requirement traceability. I can remove this too. Oops, how it touched it. So okay, so I can add multiple requirement traceability as per my requirement. Either I can drag and drop just like that, or use this option, select this, close this one, select this and add to this. You can do that, right? So you can, very good. This gives a lot of information what's going on and all the stuff. So okay, this is requirement traceability. Let's go to, let's close this. Actually, it's not required. Let's go to this thing. Next topic is test coverage. We will go through this once our test cases are ready. That's next class. We'll talk about test plan. Okay, test coverage. This is thing which is a new concept called RTM, requirement traceability matrix. Okay, what is RTM? This is an interview question, like what is RTM? RTM is, of course, requirement traceability matrix, but the definition goes like all the test case should at least match one requirement. Okay, all the test case should at least match one requirements, that is RTM. Okay, so how much coverage it has there, you can go right select here, here, and it goes to test plan. So since we have not completed our test cases, so let's not worry about it at this point of time, but I'll show you once we complete our test cases. That will be the just next class, because we'll be wrapping up these requirements in some time. I don't want to take too much of time, so because our requirements should be simple. And so that's about the test coverage. Okay, business models linkage. So if you have any business models, so remember business components. Remember we went through business components. How is it? We had this business components, right? You can link. Here you go, business models, and see this. We will not able to create the component. Remember, so you cannot do anything here right now at this point of time. But this is for more paths. Yeah, you have to go this path, and there's no path because we were not able to create path. The reason, because access, probably we don't have access to it, or it's not required. Actually, this is more of a management perspective. Probably for CFO, CIO, CIO guys, and those guys will be looking into this one, because this HPLM is so big that the whole company from CEO to sweeper, they'll be still using HPLM. I will not be surprised, because there are a lot of functionalities and a lot of features which have to be maintained by everyone: developer, tester, scrum, project manager, your boss for your performance, right? And architect, I don't know, database administrator, database developer, I don't know, QA tester, QA developer, lot more people than what actually it is, right? Because a lot of things can be documented, lot of things can be worked on it. So that's the reason it's business model. So it's more of a, I would imagine, CIO work, but developer also might be doing this. But your manager will be working on this too with parallelly. So probably your manager works on this. Risk analysis. This is, of course, by project manager. They are responsible to add this. How much risk is this? Use custom, and it is a medium, and all those things. We are not doing anything right now. So. Okay, so what is the business criticality, failure probability, functional complexity. So I would not say that lead will be responsible for doing this. I would say a project manager's job is to verify the risk assessment. Project manager, okay, not developer, not architects, no, probably manager too. If manager is also project manager, then probably they are also responsible to do this, right? And then we have history module. Now this history module is very important. Here you can see who changed what changed who, all this you can see right here. You select this view, and this is for tracking purposes. Okay, so this is tracking who changed at this time, what happened with this. Audit line, baseline of course is not there, audit log is there, so you can see right here, right? So this is a requirement module. Probably I was a little bit fast on this, I know, but that's pretty much for requirements module. Okay, so as a business analyst, you might be probably creating this requirement module. That's it. You might not be doing much of this. Your job is to create more and more requirements day by day. So you'll be working on this requirement. So so that's pretty much. So let's summarize this. Let's summarize. It's very important. So what we did. For as a tester perspective, since it's not required to create any requirements, but we did for level of understanding perspective, because we want to understand, right? So we created a requirement called Geom Online, and we navigated the various tabs, and we found out that our business analyst is a good guy, and that's why they included screenshot. Oh good, the screenshot. Now I know which project to work on. That's good. I will write test cases right now. It's good. I know this application. I've seen this application. I can go ahead. Our business analyst is good. They included screenshot. Oh, you're very lucky. And we have navigated through all these modules, and we went through requirement traceability. This is different. We are actually tracing the existing requirement and viewing this requirement. Test coverage, we didn't talk about this. We will go through this once we complete our test cases. That's the next module. And the other modules, and business models, assessment, and history. So that's pretty much for requirements module tab in HPALM. Okay, I hope you like it, and we'll go to the next module, that's test plan, and we will go that into detail, pretty much in detail. So we work on that one. So that's pretty much for requirements module. Okay, so for a tester, it's just to view. You don't do all this, you don't, because this will be all disabled. You see this disabled thing, you cannot, if I want to type, I cannot do anything, because it's not, as a tester point of view, even if you are a developer, you will be having very limited access. You will not be still, you cannot change all this author, you cannot change author, it will be disabled. But you don't do it. Even if you have access, don't do it, because it gets serious problems in the company. So we saw how to create an requirements in requirement module. That's the most important thing. Okay, so that's pretty much. So we'll close this class for this one. Any questions, you can post questions, okay, or you can reach out to me. Probably I'll send an email. Because of high volumes, a lot of people email me, but I try to still respond to it. It's like the people registered like almost like thousands, and it's almost like overall like 16,000 people, and of course not all people email me. I'm very lucky in that, only a few people. So I'll try my best to respond. If there are so many people, then it will be pretty much hectic for me. So I'll do my best. So that's pretty much for the requirements module, for the creation of the requirement. So just to let you know, I will also be having limited access after a while. So I'll not be having access to only whatever you are doing this, but I can explain you. I can explain, if you have anything, probably I'll take some screenshot and show you, but if you want to reach me out, okay. So that's pretty much for requirement module. So next class, see you in the next class in the test plan module. Okay, thanks.